I don't know about you, but I'm still getting used to a time change. But I do believe we are just in time for this week's Explore Tulsa. And we start the show with learning the biz.
Then stamps that used to pay off.
Followed by a handy dandy.
Plus getting ready for lake life.
Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. It's great to see you all back again for this week's Explore Tulsa.
Yep, and the big news last week was the introduction of the new Apple Watch.
Oh, you think you'll get an Apple Watch, Stevie?
I sure will, especially if it means I'm one step closer to getting a flying car.
Hold on to your horses there, George Judson. The future is happening all around us. And now the new Thrive 15 might even be cooler than an Apple Watch.
That's Dr. Zellner's new venture with Clay Clark and other mentors that use internet videos to teach people all over everything they need to know about how to run a successful business.
Let's let Clay tell us how Thrive15.com works.
Well, Thrive is basically business school without the BS. It's gamified edutainment, so it's entertaining education taught by millionaires, mentors, and everyday success stories. But they're broken up into 15-minute nuggets, and sometimes they're pretty hilarious. Sometimes they're emotionally engaging, and so it's like business school, but you actually are engaging. So you're going to laugh, you're going to learn, and at the end of the day, you're going to earn a lot more money.
Why did you leave your last job, Steve?
Fired. Next question.
I started my first business out of my college dorm room called DJ Connection. And when I first started it, I had no money, very little time. I was in school, and I had to just sort of hack my way into success. I used to have a very poorly constructed sales system. And Clifton Talbert, he's a man who helped introduce the Stairmaster into the market and is a best-selling author. And Lori Montag, the lady who's famous for launching the Zany bands and the Slap Watch. Those two really, really helped me just get my stuff together.
I met Clay probably, 12 years ago. His wife used to work for me in my optometry clinic there on Memorial. And so he would come in and pick her up, and actually he would come in and ask me questions, and we did lunch a few times, and I mentored him a little bit in some of the business development things that he was doing back then. Well, I tell people jokingly that I'm an entrepreneur trapped in an optometrist body, because I have other businesses. Some we've done on Explore Tulsa. I have the auto auction, I've got my horse ranch, I've got Sleep Center, and some other businesses, and some that I'm involved in. But so I really like the idea of starting businesses and growing businesses, and optometry was kind of my first one.
And so the whole idea, my thought was, if we could come up with something that's affordable and something that was entertaining and something that could really inspire and empower people to start a successful business, we could mentor millions and help people, save them a lot of money, and really just help people change their lives.
Because we're all looking for mentors in our life. And currently I have about a dozen young men in my life that I had time for, that I let come in and I mentored them in a very one-on-one close, situation. So when I saw this, I thought, now I can say, hey, you want me to mentor you? Well, go to Thrive15.com and get it,
The one thing that's challenging about finding a mentor is that you want to find a GOAT. You want to find somebody who's the greatest of all time, somebody who's excellent at what they do. And if they're excellent, they're probably busy. So during my lifetime, I've been able to spend time with the founder of Hobby Lobby and George Foreman and David Robinson and all these great people. And it's super hard to get a hold of these people. But that's the idea on Thrive, is it's just a click away, and you can have that mentorship that you would normally really, really struggle to find in a real-time, face-to-face situation.
Matter of fact, earlier today, I had a young lady come up to me and shake my hand and say, thank you. And I go, for what? She goes, you helped my business. And I said, cool. She goes, I'm a thriver. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. So it was really cool because you can see it working.
There's one thriver named Kat, and she's been able to almost double her business this year. So she had an existing bakery, and she's been able to almost double in less than a year. And why? She's always made a great product. She's always had great cookies and great bakeries. She just needed to learn some of these practical mentorship, these management and sales and marketing and checklists and systems and workflows and accounting. She had to learn that stuff. And I can tell you, I'd be in a much different place in my life if I didn't have that kind of mentorship. And now that's available for everybody for less than most people spend on a cell phone.
I said, Clay, if I got nobody else to tell me thanks or to say that the mentorship on Thrive helped me grow my business, even that one lady, it's worth all the time and effort we put into it.
A lot of the millionaire mentors that you'll find, in their heart, they want to help people, but they have so many obligations to run their successful company. And so Thrive provides a unique way for these multimillionaires and success stories to really go ahead and carve out 4 or 5 hours of their time to sit down and answer questions that maybe they only know the answers to, and to really give back. And so it's been neat to provide that platform for those people.
without the military, our country would not be great and we would not be the leading capitalist entrepreneur center that we are. So we feel very strongly about our military personnel. So we're going to give them a free membership for any time you sign up. So know this, is that when you sign up and become a Thriver, you are not only are you going to be a hero, but you're helping a hero.
Thrive to me is a huge thing because it's a life changer. And very few products can you say, if you buy this, it can change your life. And I can say on Thrive, you can go on there, you can learn what you need to know, and if you're just simply willing to do it, it will absolutely 100% change your life.
So for less than you're going to spend on coffee this year, become a Thriver and help grow your career, help start a business or grow your business, okay? And remember, everybody can get a free trial subscription. Just get on thrive15.com, all right? And everybody can sign up and get a little taste of it and see if it's for you.
I tell you what, throughout the years, Dr. Zellner has been a great resource and mentor to me. So I watched some of the Thrive 15 videos, and they are just as entertaining as they are informative. And you know how hard it is to keep my attention. Oh, I'm kidding.
If it's easy for Stevie to understand, you know it'll work for you. Take a look for yourself at thrive15.com.
Bring it on, Trish, because I'm just a sponge over here, ready to learn as much as possible.
Well, good, Stevie, because next we'll take in a little history lesson with John Erling and Voices of Oklahoma when we come back with more Explore Tulsa.
Ever since the first movie theaters opened in the early 1900s, man has been trying everything to bring that same experience home to enjoy with their families. And for more than 30 years, Video Revolution and their home entertainment experts have been making those dreams come true by designing custom home theater solutions for both in and outdoor use. From 1080p LEDs to the brand new Sony 4K flat panel TVs, or come in to see the latest in sound bars and surround sound setups. Always the top name brands are found at Video Revolution. That same electronic expertise we also apply to your business communications network, from boardroom automation to video wall presentations. No matter what technology the future holds, you can count on Video Revolution to be leading the way. Tulsa's headquarters for the best selection and installation of cutting-edge electronics. Video Revolution on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Hi, I'm Diana LeClaire from the Log Cabin Quilt Shop in Leonard, Oklahoma, and you're watching Explore Tulsa.
Hi, and thanks so much for staying with us for more Explore Tulsa.
Now, Trish, when I was a little kid...
Ooh, hold on there. I get a feeling that one of your long, boring stories is about to occur.
I was just going to tell you about how my mom and my mamaw used to collect S&H Greenstamps, and we'd buy some really cool stuff with them, too.
I've never even heard of such a thing.
You kids today and your internet coupons. The S&H Greenstamps were actually printed right here in the Tulsa area in Sand Springs. It was a pretty big deal back in the day.
I bet this would be a good time for us to ask John Erling to share with us one of his interviews from Voices of Oklahoma.
Now, I wonder how many of you remember S&H Greenstamps, the stamps you got at the grocery store, the gas station, or any retail outlet. And then I wonder how many of you actually licked the stamps and put them into a redemption book. Well, they were popular in the United States in the 1930s and 1980s. Now, Carl Willis, a Tulsa businessman who managed Allied Printing Company, the company who printed the stamps, tells us first how the redemption stamp business actually worked.
The merchants bought the stamps from Sperry and Hutchinson.
Right.
And then they distributed the stamps at fill-in stations, grocery stores, cleaners, that sort of thing.
And then the customer could redeem those.
Then the customer would save those, and we also printed a stamp saver book. It held 1,200 stamps. Would fill a book, then you could look at the catalog that Allied Graphic Arts had printed. They could look in the catalog and find a gift that they wanted to buy.
And then shoppers could exchange these filled books for premiums from the local Greenstamp store. And they would get things like toasters, many household goods, furniture, jewelry, toys, sporting goods, tools, you name it. Yeah, some of you are probably thinking about that first bicycle you got with Greenstamps. Did you know that at one point S&H Greenstamps boasted they printed 3 times more stamps than the United States government? Now for their printing. They were printed in Pennsylvania, but then Sperry and Hutchinson wanted another printing location, and Carl Willis will take it from there.
Then Allied Graphic Arts searched the United States for the best place to put in a stamp company. Sand Springs was centrally located. They could go to either coast the same distance, north and south of the same. So it was an ideal location. We had good labor pool here. And Sand Springs Townsite offered to build a building and lease it back to us so that it would pay for itself within 10 years. So we had the facility and wherewithal, the business. So they started the stamp company and the printing company in 1960.
So the Greenstamps were printed right here in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Now the city of Sand Springs built a building which grew to 50,000 square feet. And Carl Willis gives us the exact location.
It was 8131 Charles Page Boulevard. As you're going from Tulsa to Sand Springs, it's about a mile or two before you actually get into Sand Springs. And that was on Charles Page Boulevard. At that time, we didn't have the interstate highway.
Was there any signage on the building? Did it say S&H Greenstamps?
Well, no, we tried not to do that because you have to realize that that was like printing money. If people got hold of those stamps, they could redeem them for all these things that they wanted in the book.
Now, the process of printing the Greenstamps, from the type of paper to the amount of glue, is very interesting. And Carl Willis will talk about the process on our Oklahoma website, voicesofoklahoma.com. And what about the numbers? Like, how many stamps would they print in a week? And how many people did Allied Stamp Corporation employ in Sand Springs?
We measured everything in 5,000 stamp increments. So we would print 5,000 books or quills in a shift. We were running at one time 3 shifts and 2 machines. I figured out about 850 million stamps a week.
How many were you employing at that time?
I was running about 35 per shift, and when I had 3 shifts, I was up around 90.
Now, there's another aspect to this story. The stamps and the books and the signs are now collector's items. So, rummage around your attics or look for them online and collect stamp memorabilia. Now, after a while, the demand for Greenstamps dropped off, but there were other stamp companies, so Carl and the crew in Sand Springs printed other stamps.
I told you I'd gone to S&H and told S&H that I needed to be selling to other stamp companies, so I did. I went and sold Top Value, Blue Chip, California, Gold Bond, Eagle. So during that time, I never had to lay off anybody. We were always able to keep our capacity up.
There were a lot of them, weren't there? Top Value, did you mention?
Well,
Eagle?
Top Value was,
and
yeah.
You did Eagle?
I did Eagle, yeah.
That was
May's.
May department stores out of St. Louis.
That's right, yeah.
And then different colored stamps were created by different stamp companies.
Every stamp company had a different color, yeah.
What if I went up in my attic today and I found 100 books? Could I redeem them?
There is a company, I think it's called S&H Solutions, that would buy them. I think probably not very much. I don't think you get much out of them, but you could probably sell them and get a little bit out of them.
So look around. You may have some Greenstamp memorabilia, and then I remind you can go online to find these items for sale. But now you know how the city of Sand Springs played into the stamp redemption business, and in particular, the most popular stamps, S&H Greenstamps.
I remember walking into the S&H Greenstamp Redemption Center and always hoping that my mom was going to get one of those Kit Kat clocks. I love the way his tail would wag every second.
You know you can get one of those on Amazon for like 40 bucks.
Yeah, but it's not the same as getting to lick the stamps. It's almost like candy.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. If you'd like to hear John's entire interview with Carl Willis, visit voicesofoklahoma.com.
You know, I enjoy listening to Voices of Oklahoma when I'm doing some painting around the house.
Wait, you do the painting around the house?
I sure do, and I never spill a drop.
I find that hard to believe. What's your secret?
Paint handy.
Oh, is that the name of the guy you hired to paint your house?
No, it's the name of Ben Mayberry's invention that marks the end of paint spills. It's as cool as the Apple Watch, but costs a whole lot less.
This I gotta see. So stay close. Paint Handy is next, and we return with more Explore Tulsa.
Hello, I'm John Erling with Voices of Oklahoma. Our great state has been home to countless individuals whose place in history has been earned through each of their many accomplishments. Voices of Oklahoma's mission is to preserve their story in an oral history presentation like none other. Accounts direct from famous Oklahomans, political figures, and many others who have left their indelible mark on the development, history, and future of Oklahoma. So please, treat yourself by listening to those who are the voices of Oklahoma.
Stevie from Explore Tulsa with my friend and optometrist for many years, Dr. Robert Zellner. Tell everybody why it's so good to come in to see you.
Well, that's a great question. Let's see, we've got 2 great locations. We try to stay cutting edge at every point along the way because let's face it, everybody wants to come in and get taken care of in a timely fashion and get the latest, greatest stuff and save some money and get on with their life. And see clearly.
And if you don't believe it, look on the website.
Absolutely, drzellner.com. You can find that we have our 2 locations at 69th and Memorial and 3030 South Harvard, or you can give us a call at 749-2020 or 461-2020.
And I got 4 kids, and I got to tell you, as a big family like that, it's affordable too.
Oh yes, and of course, the number one reason, you save some money. I mean, with our 2-pair specials, with our different unique packages that we put together, I mean, you can come in here and your money can go a lot farther than anywhere else.
And that's why with Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates, seeing is believing.
Oh, I like that, Stevie. Well done.
If you've ever dropped or spilled paint on your floor while painting around the house, then you'll be so glad you stuck around for more Explore Tulsa.
There really is nothing worse than having to clean up spilled paint. It's just one big mess.
Look, I already told you I was sorry for spilling paint on your jeans and your shoes while I was painting the studio.
Well, I want you to pay close attention to Ben Mayberry and learn all about his new invention, the Paint Handy.
Well, I did have an inventive mind. You know, as a kid, as a young kid, I was always finding a way to innovate. I was in automotive restoration for over 20 years and really enjoyed it, did a lot of work there. And I had a neighbor friend of mine ask me to help him on a big project that he had. So I helped him and I just fell in love with painting houses. So that's where I got started, and I got so excited about being outdoors in the fresh air and the sunshine. It was wonderful. So I kind of ventured off in that direction. Well, I was on the largest job I'd ever done, residential, in Owasso. And during that job, at the very, very end, we had packed up everything and was getting ready to drive off the job site and looked back at the house, and I thought, oh my gosh, I forgot a little section on the peak above the driveway. At that last day, nobody else was on the job site with me, so I struggled to grab paint out of the truck. Everything was packed so tightly. And I just reached for anything and everything I could grab to help me go up that ladder and do that job. But I didn't really want to take a full gallon of paint up there because now their cars were in the driveway and that sort of thing. So I was looking for a piece of cardboard or anything I could just ladle enough paint out onto and work from there. And I just found this little piece of fibrous bristle type material, and I started ladling paint onto it. So when I went up that ladder with brush in one hand and this material in the other, I noticed that it didn't spill paint at all. It held an awful lot of paint, and when I would tap the brush to it, it would load it very, very quickly without dripping from the tool. And so it was a very, very fast reload, and I could hold it at any angle without spilling it. So as I drove home, I couldn't get it out of my mind. It actually allows the paint to become weightless because there's so many tiny bristle fingers on the base of the tray that there's so many of them that the paint that surrounds it becomes weightless. And so when you pour paint into it and you turn it upside down, once it's embedded into that surface, it won't spill. And then when you put your brush to it, it actually interacts with that surface and exchanges paint. So you don't have the drip factor, you know, and especially when you're up there on crown molding and it all starts to run back on your brush at you. You don't have any of that. And you can reload the brush very, very quickly. When I would use it, I would discover something more about it, something, you know, I could throw it on a rooftop, high-pitched roof, and it just sat there. It wouldn't even slide down. I could sit it on top of a hedge. You know, if I was painting a planter's box of a window and it would just sit there. It wouldn't fall through and, you know, dump paint everywhere. You know, in that time, it evolved, but it was years of just using it and testing it, and trying it out and trying to find, okay, I know the pros, but are there any cons? Is there something that somebody say, yeah, that's good, but I wouldn't use it because of this. So I wanted to get all that out of the way. It grabbed a lot of media attention very quickly when you talk about, you know, drip-free, dripless, spill-free pan. So I'm in the New York Times, and everybody really started responding. But one of the biggest things for us was this old house, because you know they're the real scrutinizers. I mean, they don't cut you any slack, you know. And they asked for some additional liners when we sent it to them. They were really excited about it, but they wanted to do different scenarios. And so in those scenarios, they found out it was just amazing and it worked in every way we claimed it would. And so that put us in the top 100 products of 2013. And then we got the editor's pick of the top 5. So I was on Fox News, Fox and Friends, Megan Meany's Must-Haves, and Rachel Ray, and you know, just really has, like you said, caught on media-wise. Well, it was really just surreal. You know, it was every day when I woke up, I thought, is this really happening? I mean, because it just seemed like it was just one foot in front of the other. Not that there weren't struggles, there were unbelievable struggles through that time, but everything just came together, you know, and it was amazing to see. And so I was thinking, could this really be something very big? And it appears that it is.
You know, I've played Frisbee all my life, but I never thought about using this as a painting device. I could make it spin on my finger, though.
That sounds like a great trick, Stevie, that you can save for another time. But if you're interested in learning more about Ben's device, visit painthandy.com.
You want to watch me catch it between my legs?
Why don't you save that trick for a time out on Grand Lake?
Good idea. We'll catch up with Jerry Cookson for Welcome Back Weekend at Grand Lake, just ahead on Explore Tulsa.
At Video Revolution, our home entertainment experts have been designing custom home theater solutions for both in and outdoor use for over 30 years. From flat panel LED TVs to 4K projector systems, the top name brands are here at Video Revolution. That same electronic expertise we also apply to our business communications network, from boardroom automation to video wall presentations. Video Revolution, Tulsa's headquarters for the best selection and installation of cutting-edge technology.
The nicer weather we've been having is making me ready to head out to the lake and get ready for good times on the Explore Tulsa cruise boat.
You are definitely not alone, Stevie. Many people did just that last weekend for Welcome Back Weekend at Grand Lake.
And I'm ready to do me some wake surfing with my buddy Jerry Cookson.
I always wanted to live here. Started coming here in 1981 as a tourist and as a guest at the houses around the lake. And someday I said, I'm going to live here. It's just a lifestyle. I run Cedarport Marina in Disney, Oklahoma, and I sell Crown Line, Malibu, Harris, Regal yachts. I like to take out ski boat, usually like a Malibu. We like to surf a lot and play around like that. But you know, this time of year, I'd be in a pontoon boat. It's nice out. That's probably my boat of choice if I'm not out surfing. Welcome Back Weekend, you know, this is the 75th year of it, and people just like coming back to the lake and getting their lake houses opened up, getting their boats de-winterized, and of course the festivities this weekend are incredible. Well, the way we do our poker runs, you know, you can do it by land or you can do it by water. What we do is we have stops, and we had 7 stops today, and you go to each location and pick up a poker chip. And then show up over here in hookers, and what we do is you get 5 cards, and if you hit all the stops you get 6 cards, and then we see who has the best hand, and the yacht club's giving away $2,500 for first place, and second place is a dual membership to both of our clubs, and that's a pretty nice little prize. And then third place, Grand Lake Boat Sales, donating $500 for fuel. Well, the reason we named that Hookers, it's kind of cool. We got a game up there that you play, and it's got a little hook on it, and you swing it, and if it gets hooked up on the hook, you get a Frisbee that says Hookers on it. It's a pretty cool name for a club on the lake. Well, you know, no telling who you'll see out here at the lake. There's a myriad of people. There's a lot of us stay up here full time. You know, the governor has a house here. A lot of people in Tulsa, but we get people as far as from St. Louis, Kansas City, you know, down in Texas, Oklahoma City, big crowd comes over. This lake is unusual. We got 1,300 miles of shoreline. We got boats up to 100 feet. It's really an unusual lake. Well, the club's a private club. It has been for a long time. Everyone's welcome to come by and check it out and see what we have to offer. But the thing that's really neat about it is if you're a member of our club, we have all kinds of events. We have events every month, usually 2 a month, continuing through the whole year. Well, in June, I'm doing 2 events. Of course, I like to talk about my events. They're coming out of Cedarport Marina. I'm doing a surf event and a big air event. That's where we get our competition ski boats out, and we do some surfing behind the boats, as well as we do a big air event. What our big air event is when you hit the wake and see how high you can go, and you get to do one trick, and then they score that. Then the second event in June is what I call my pontoon rally in Splash Bash Alley, and that is back in Ketchum Cove in front of Hammerhead Marina. And last year, man, I don't know how many boats were there, 300, 400, 500. It was crazy. We have a band on the big bobber. You know, I could go on about events all the time. You look at any of our Facebook pages, Arrowheads, Cherokees, Cedarport, and you can stay up with the events. We try to communicate that way, as well as in the Grand Lake Chronicle. It's a great place to see what's going on at the lake.
Already on the lake. I can hardly wait.
Well, you can visit rsu.tv to see Living Grand on Grand Lake and keep up to date on upcoming events all summer long.
You know, I used to work with the skiers at Ciarama Marine World.
Didn't you just work in like the drink hut?
Hydration is a very important part of skiing, Trish.
Oh, so you were the skiers water boy. Stick around, there's more Explore Tulsa just ahead.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get 1 pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99, or my 2-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
My name is Sarah Williamson. I am the manager here at Wild Birds Unlimited in the Kings Point Shopping Village at 61st in Yale, and you're watching Explore Tulsa.
Be sure and join us next week when we learn all about secret shoppers with Kathy Shook at Shoppers Inc.
Special thanks to Clay Clark and Dr. Robert Zollner for mentoring us with a visit to Thrive15.com.
Thanks too to John Erling for sharing with us portions of his interview with Carl Willis of S&H Greenstamp fame on Voices of Oklahoma. And thanks to Ben Mayberry for inventing the Paint Handy. What a paint lifesaver.
And to Jerry Cookson for inviting us out to Welcome Back Weekend at Grand Lake.
Remember, if you missed any of the show, you can always catch us at exploretulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
Hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook. Share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Plus, remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home of the 2-pair for $129 deal with 2 locations, 3030 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.